Hey guys, it's Simply Bookish, and today I'm going to be making a video about The Selection. Oh my god, where to start? The Selection is one of my favorite books ever. It's like one of the first books I ever read in like the YA category, and well, I fell in love. And so specifically, I'm going to be talking about something I've mentally thought about for way too long in my opinion, but that is, who is better, Aspen or Maxon? Who did America actually make the right choice? Well, okay, just to start off, before I say anything about the guys, okay, I think America is the most, I reread it recently, I read it first when I was in grade 8 or something, but I reread it recently, and I just want to say, I think America is the most immature, indecisive, uncommunicative, person on the planet. Okay, she doesn't know what she wants, and she doesn't know how to tell people what she wants when she finally realizes what she actually wants. And it's so infuriating to read. The only reason I think I didn't it was very okay. These types of books, okay, there are two levels, okay, or two sides, okay. I either give it a 0, okay, 100% not worth my time if the character is the way America was, or I give it a 5, okay, totally 100% great, okay. And the only reason I would give something a 5 rather than 2, even though the main character is trash, is because the story itself, the ideas, the magic behind it is amazing. And that's I think what I realized is the only reason I love The Selection. It's because I love the idea, I love the magic behind it, and I love, everything. I love Maxon, I even love Aspen, So yeah, but onto the video. So just a quick summary before I start, okay? Aspen is the first love interest, the first main one. He and America have been together for 2 years at the start of The Selection, before she even enters The Selection, and they're thinking of getting married and everything like that. And Maxon is the prince, okay, the one she meets during The Selection, and who she's supposed to fight for, but as you know, she doesn't want to fight for Maxon because she's still in love with Aspen, which changes over the course of the 3 books when in the end she decides to go with Maxon. The structure of this video is basically going to be, I'm going to list 4 things about each guy. 2 things I like about Aspen and Maxon, and 2 things that I just think weren't that great, and in the end I'm going to come to a conclusion about if America really did make the right choice, choosing Maxon over Aspen. And, maybe is Aspen better? Who knows? One of the main good things about Aspen is that Aspen always wants the best for her. Like in the beginning, okay, when they were in the tree house, okay, Aspen breaks up with her just so she can enter into The Selection and, try to better her life, become a 1 or a 2 instead of remaining in the 5, cast. And that's a really noble thing to do, especially since we all know that Aspen was in love with America, and I just found that to be really, really noble and really selfless, and yeah, I think that was a really good, thing for him to do, even though America didn't want to go at all. Okay, so in terms of what I like about Maxon, the first thing in the entire book that I've thought is the best thing about Maxon, okay, that is that Maxon is the sweetest guy on the planet. You can't get any sweeter. He gives gifts, he, engages in funny, banter, and that's part of the second reason, but yeah, he's really nice. On the first day, he sends America's sister, I've forgotten her name, a basket of sweets or something like that, and it's really nice, he's just a really stand-up guy, and even before The Selection began, the first day, before the first day happened, when in the night or whatever, Maxon allowed her to go outside and get some fresh air when she was, kind of hyperventilating and really stressing about The Selection, and that's one of the best things about Maxon, and it's just, yeah, I think I love him for that, the like things that I really like about Aspen and America's relationship is that their romance is really like you know, low-key, sneaky, like that like adds a really nice element to it in terms of just the reader. I mean, obviously in terms of their relationship, that's not good because you can't keep a relationship a secret and expect it to actually work out in the end. Sometimes, not saying that all, you know, secret relationships don't work, but most of the time they don't, and in this case it kind of didn't, you know. But yeah, that element of like sneaky romance was really nice. I think a really nice addition to the book, and I think it's one of those like tropes that are really like appreciated in terms of romance and really nice to read sometimes. And yeah, I really like that about him. Okay, so back to Maxon. Another main thing that I really liked about Maxon, other than being nice, he was also really charming. Like, he's the type of guy that you just, like, he says, like, he knows the right thing to say. You know, especially I remember in the third book, The Elite, no, the one when he, like, is shot, okay, and he's under a table, he tells, like, America, oh my god, break my heart, break it 1,000 times, it was only ever yours to break. And when I read that, watchers, when I read that, I died. I literally died. I thought that was the most sweet, most, like, oh my god. Thinking about it, like, I remember my heart started to flutter, and like, I'm 18, you know, like, this book is not for my age. I think it's for like 15, 16-year-olds, and I really loved it. Like, oh my god, the lines, okay, he's like a poet or something, I don't know, but that, like, his charm and like his, you know, just everything about him, you know, he's just like a great candidate, you know. And if I were America, I 100% would pick Maxon. I would 100% pick Maxon if I was America. No choice, like, no, like, Aspen does not have a chance. I like the sneaky romance thing, but like, he's a prince, you know? He's charming, he's like a poet, like, oh my god. Thinking about him, yeah. So one of the main things I did not like about Aspen, like, at all, was how pushy he was when he finally, you know, got to the palace, okay? Like, I understand, you know, noble intentions and everything, but every chance he got, he would try to confuse America, okay? And, you know, I think that was part of why America was just so indecisive, and one of the main reasons I hated her, you know? But, yeah, I don't know. I just didn't like it, you know, especially, like, you know, the fact that he let her go to the selection, okay? He told her, he broke up with her. She was willing to live like a poverty-ridden life, okay? But he decided that she needed more, okay? And then when she's finally trying to get more, okay, he's like, no, okay? And he's not even like considering the fact that she cares about Maxon, and he's just like, you know, always like kind of being pushy. I didn't like it. It was kind of weird, a bit desperate, slightly desperate. One of the main things I didn't like about Maxon was the fact that he was dating other girls. And I know what you're gonna say, okay? He was allowed to, that was the whole point. America knew that when she went in, you know? And yeah, I get that, but at the same time, there were times when Maxon would just kind of ignore her, or like, even when they've had a good day, okay? He would ignore her for a week. You know, that's just like, that's not it, you know? And he keeps on saying, oh, you're the one for me, you know, you're the best, you're my everything. But then he goes and ignores her for like a week or two and dates other girls. Like, what is she supposed to think, Maxon? What is she supposed to think? But yeah, did not like him. Did not like that. Sorry, I liked him. I did not like that. But you know, to some extent, you know, maybe that's like protagonist bias or whatever. Like, you know, she's over exaggerating the like lack of attention. Like, you know, from what I could tell, Maxon seemed like a really, you know, attentive guy, really charming, really sweet. So it doesn't make sense for him, like, for America to over exaggerate it. But I don't know, it just seemed a bit weird that he was all over the place. You know, he would be dating her, you know, Chris, I don't know who else, okay? Like, Chris is the main girl, right? Celeste. But yeah, you know, he'd be doing that, but then on the side, he'd be like, oh my god, America, I'm in love with you. I feel like he was a bit confused too. It's just, it ain't it. The last thing I hate about Aspen, okay, what are the last things? I mean, I hate more things about him, but this is one of the last things, okay, in this video. Okay, one of them is that I just hated how Aspen would belittle her sometimes for doing like good things for him, or just in general. You know, so like in the first book, The Selection, she brings food for him and he like totally throws that away, like his ego is hurt. Like I didn't like that, you know? Take the food, you need the food, like accept that you're not as well off as America, and there's nothing wrong with that, you know, Aspen, there's nothing wrong with that. But he made it into some sort of problem, and I just didn't like it personally, you know, and he would make America feel bad for it, you know, for bringing the food when she's doing something nice, you know? Like he was always rude about it too, belittled her, okay, and made it like, you know, like some sort of pride contest type thing, I don't know. And then this is like the worst scene in the entire book. It's when America asks Aspen in like the second book or the third book, okay, whether he thinks that she would be a good queen, princess, whatever, and he tells her that she wouldn't be, okay? And honestly, I mean, they never said it or anything, but I'm pretty sure he said that because he loved her and he didn't want her to pick Maxon. You know, and maybe he sensed that, but it's just not it, Aspen. Like, why are you doing this? You know, you should be uplifting her, even if she decides to go with Maxon rather than you know? Like, it shouldn't be like this, you know, you shouldn't be belittling her just to win like this contest or, you know, be the one she chooses in the love triangle. I don't like it. It wasn't it. That's just my opinion. One of the main things this is the last thing I hated about Maxon, okay? And specifically, this was the fact that Maxon had horrible communication skills. I mean, America did too. I'm telling you, like, I know America was just as bad, but like, tell me why this guy would not contact her for a week after telling her that, you know, oh, you're the one for me. I want to, you know, end the selection and be with you. Like, why would you say all this and then just, you know, ghost her? You know, where is the communication, okay? And they even admitted it in the third book, the one where he was like, oh, you know, I just kept on saying things. Like, there was a scene where they were like in America's room and he was like, oh, you know, I feel like I've said it, but I haven't, like, I love you, and I haven't actually said it. Like, what is this, you know? Why are you confusing America? Like, I know America is just confused in general, whether, you know, he was communicative or not, okay? Because he was, to some extent, like, communicative of his feelings, okay? But still, you know, like, why was he so, I don't know, like non-responsive sometimes? You know, or unresponsive sometimes. So yeah, I really did not like that about him. Okay, but overall, honestly, I think that America's the problem. Like, she is the biggest problem in all of this. Like, Aspen and Maxon are both kind of like bad sometimes, but America, she's just so like undecisive. That was the worst part of her, you know? Like, just make a decision and then, okay, fine, don't make a decision, but at least don't lead them on, okay? Tell them that you can't make a decision. I was leading Aspen on for 3 books, okay? 3 whole books. I don't understand, you know? Like, why was she doing that? And then right at the end, when she finally goes to tell him that she does not love him, Maxon sees them like, cozy, whatever. Like, no, okay? Like, this is what happens when you aren't like a good character or a good person. Bad things happen to you, and this is what you deserved, you know? Although I hated that scene broke my heart. Still, I don't understand though how Maxon forgave her for that. Like, I understand he was doing the same thing, okay, but she knew that, you know? She didn't even know, okay? She was worse than Maxon, 100%. And that's the thing, right, okay? When you look at these types of books, like dystopian fantasy type books, you have to think about it in the context of the book and what moral, like, high grounds and low grounds there are, you know? And what America failed to understand was that in the selection, okay, he was allowed to do that. That was the moral high ground. And if it's right or wrong, like, that's not for me to say. Like, that's not the question at hand. The real question is, why are you doing the wrong thing, you know? And maybe it's sexist. It is sexist. 100% it's sexist, okay? But it is what it is. That's the world that we're looking at, okay? And I think she was wrong to do that. You know, just like if we were in this world, I would think Maxon is wrong as well. But they knew that. Like, America knew that. It's just, it pisses me off that she's so indecisive, and that Aspen got hurt in the process. Like, Aspen's a good guy. You know, he's not a bad guy. So yeah, well, it's clear that she's just not mature and definitely not ready to get married, okay? It's just painfully obvious. Like, why is she getting married? I don't understand. She should like date Maxon for a bit more time, like outside of the selection, you know? And it's just infuriating to see them, you know, like her playing both men, okay? And then in the end getting married to them. Like, she's not ready to get married, you know? And then on top of that, her being super insecure, like, I hated that as well, okay? She's always like, oh, you know, like, I'm not ready to be queen. Oh my God. Like, oh, I look so bad, my red hair, my pale skin, my freckles, like, shut up, you know? You're beautiful, okay? So it was so annoying to see her doubting herself, and that being the reason she didn't choose Maxon way earlier. She was always like, oh, I don't want to be queen, blah, 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 blah. And I was just like, okay, but if you love him, you can learn. You can literally learn, okay? Like, I don't know. I think she was just a bit like annoying sometimes when she was like being so immature and so like insecure about her appearance, about her personality, when everyone is telling her she's good, except Aspen. Aspen is a little like, ain't it? But other than Aspen, her dad, her mom, Maxon, Amberly, like Queen Amberly was even saying it. She would know, right? But no, America's like, oh my God, no, oh my, I'm not good enough, oh my God. Okay, cutting that out. So now the conclusion. Who would I pick if I was Maxon, and if I was America, and who is the better choice just in general? Okay, look, in my opinion, honestly, I think Maxon's the better choice. They're both bad, like have like bad things that are like about them or whatever, both Aspen and Maxon, but really when you think about it, okay, the one bad thing, like the really bad thing, was their communication problem, and that's something that can be solved, you know? Like, you can just pledge to talk to each other, okay? But Aspen just genuinely thought low of her, you know, and just thought of her in a, like, as that little 5 girl that he met back in wherever they're from. I forgot, like Montana, I'm not sure. But yeah, like that's what he thinks of her, and she's grown. She's a new person, and I don't think Aspen really understood that, you know? And so maybe back then she wasn't ready to be queen, but she sure as hell was like queen material, you know, after, especially in the 3rd book, you know? And yeah, I think Maxon is 100% the right choice. Plus he's like super charming. I mean, who can blame anyone for picking him? But so is Aspen. I mean, Aspen's charming, but not as charming as Maxon. Maxon is 100% more charming. You know, that's the thing though, right? Okay, in this book, there are no like, it's not like the Vampire Diaries where there's like Damon and Stefan, and like in the 1st season, Damon's clearly the bad guy while Stefan's the good guy. Like, Aspen and Maxon are both good people, you know, in their own separate different ways. One's more rugged, one isn't. But in the end, I think Maxon is clearly the right choice. Okay, so thank you for watching my video. I don't know how long this is, but I think this is a video I haven't seen before, and yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it. And selection fans, I hope you like really enjoyed it, because I have loved the selection for so long. Like, it's my like OTP, me and the selection books, like the trilogy, not the last 2, just forget the last 2, but the trilogy, that's my, you know, like everything. That's my everything. But yeah, I sadly do not have a copy of the selection, otherwise I would have shown it to you. But Kira Cass, like, hit me up if you want to give me like signed copies of the books, because yes, girl. But yeah, I'm joking, obviously. But yeah, thank you. Bye.